Like I said, guys, don't overthink it when it comes to training. It's not that complicated. As long as you get the stimuli and you're focused on your nutrition diet week in, week out, months, years, you're gonna get the results you want. Another thing I like to emphasize on is rest. People are training way too fucking often. They're doing Ronnie Coleman's workout, Jay Cutler. They're getting like pro IFBB bodybuilders workouts. You might get some results, but those guys are on drugs and PEDs. Their recovery rate is enhanced. You should not be training 5 times a week as a natural. It's overkill. Maximum 3. You could even get away with 2 times a week. And the older you get, the more you need to rest. When you're younger, your hormones are through the roof. You're young, you're vital, your tendons are strong, and you're more likely to grow. But I guarantee you, you're gonna make more results training less. 10% stimuli, 90% training. Excuse me. 10% stimuli, 90% nutrition and rest. That rest is so important, guys. That's where you grow. Sleep. Not when you're in the freaking gym. You're tearing your muscles apart. The mistake I see with like young people in the gym, they're in there 5-6 times a week. They're training body parts like twice a week. They're going through the whole split Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, chest, back, legs, and then chest, back, legs again Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What the fuck, dude? You're not a pro. Like, you might get some results, but as a natural, you're not gonna get the body you want. You gotta recover. You gotta rest. I learned this as I got older. Even when I was younger, I trained less. I didn't train that often. Thankfully, I had a good coach that taught me about recovery and rest being the most vital things when it comes to growth. So I knew that you had to rest more than you train. If you're in the gym 5-6 times a week and you're natural, you're not going to grow. You might make some results, but you're not going to get that body you want. I guarantee you. If you're on PDs, that's a complete different story. You're enhanced. You got more workings in your body that is helping you build and all that. But as a natural, forget about it. You have to emphasize on rest just as much as nutrition. They go together. 90%, 10% stimuli. People are overthinking in the gym. They're doing this split, they're doing that. They're following Ronnie Coleman's split. You're not Ronnie Coleman, dude. You're not Jay Cutler. You can't train twice a day. You're not a fighter. Okay? You're focused on your body composition to look your best and feel your best. You don't need to train 5-6 times a week. I lost a amount of weight I did doing 0 freaking cardio. I walked every day though, just about. I would train 2 to 3 times a week, heavy, intense, high volume. Like I said, it doesn't matter what type of training you do. You still gotta get that stimuli through what works for you. It might be strength training, volume, intensity. Personally, I like to combine both. But like I said, I was in the gym 2-3 times a week. I didn't run. I wasn't doing HIIT, high intensity cardio. You can, if you like doing it, you can. But like running, high intensity cardio is not good for long-term body composition. You might say, hey man, there's like all these triathlons I see, they're jacked. They're on drugs. I guarantee you they're on PEDs. You're not gonna look like them unless that's what you want. Then you can do that. But the best way to get results is to rest, recovery, which is 90%, and then 10% stimuli. You have to emphasize on rest, guys. I can't tell you how important it is. It's where you grow. If your sleep cycles is screwed up, you gotta fix it first. You gotta go to bed around between 9 to midnight, 9 p.m. to midnight, wake up early. If you got a screwed up sleep schedule, you gotta fix that first. It's very important. It's where your body releases growth hormone. It's where you recover. It's where you rejuvenate old, new cells. Get rid of the bad cells and dead cells. Your body rejuvenates itself.